Even if you've just been paying a passing bit of attention to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial, you've probably seen the memes that have come out of it, at least, and most of them have been centered around the fact that Amber Heard's legal team is a bumbling bunch of buffoons, and that the overall narrative, if there has been any clingers on left on the Amber Heard side, the believe all women side, they're just mostly been relegated to the weirdos on social media. Because before we get into this, just want to show you guys the fact that still some people believe that you need to believe Amber Heard in this situation, even though she's just been totally fucking blown out, especially over the past few days. Okay, last week was pretty abysmal for her, and then today just continued on with that, and we'll get into the depths of that. Pun not really intended. But still, Drew Barrymore, of all people, can make the salient point about this, just saying that the entire trial is fucking crazy. And it is. It really is, because it's just a how-to class on how not to run a defense case, okay? And also, if you're trying to bury somebody with just some fucking damning allegations, you should probably have at least just a little glimmer of truth in what you're saying. But Barrymore here wasn't really making a stand on either side. All she was saying was that the trial in and of itself is one layer of crazy. It's a 7-layer dip of insanity. Just the fucking banal little analogy that she made. And then, yeah, the crazies from Twitter, okay? Obviously dogpiled on her. Twitter, Instagram, all of the other affiliated social media outlets, yeah, were just like, no, you can't say that. It's just, she's really bad. And then she ended up caving because of it, because that's Hollywood for you. They just look at social media, okay? It's all about Q scores, which was a big part of this afternoon's testimony. And, oh, they just need to look good for everybody else. That's why, a late Sunday, the rumors were making the rounds that Amber Heard fired her PR team days before she is set to testify, which is the moment that, yes, we are all waiting for, because, oh boy, is that just going to be a master class in somebody's babbling disaster. Because you could... it's just about a virtual certainty that she's going to be crying and blubbering, and because she's still in her own little world. She thinks it needs to put on the pouty face whenever the camera's on her. Okay, she needs to still look like the quote-unquote beaten housewoman in order to get her point across, but she's lost the plot. So you think that maybe she might be trying to course correct, but no. Just get rid of any naysayers, because it's just everybody else's fault except for Amber Heard. Amber Heard is so upset over the coverage she's been getting in her court battle with Johnny Depp when she abruptly switched to a new PR team. Based on the response that she's gotten so far, I didn't even think that she had a PR team. Oh, ahead of her highly anticipated testimony this week. It's gonna be good. The Aquaman actress ditched her PR firm Precision Strategies on Thursday after getting frustrated with the press she received since her bombshell defamation trial kicked off last month, sources have said. She doesn't like bad headlines. Well, you should probably not have bad facts then. Another source said Heard, 36, is frustrated with her story not being told effectively. Well, you're part of the trial, or your case in this greater trial hasn't been put on yet, and it's mostly the fact, if you're frustrated, like if these sources can be believed, that her story is not being told effectively, that's not your PR team. That's your incompetent bunch of lawyers, which we'll get into when we do the recap of the day, because this is the first day that I watched pretty much from toes to titties. I missed the video deposition. It didn't really seem like it was all that important in and of itself, but just the overview of what I seen, a first-hand account of Amber Heard's litany of lawyers, they just seem bitchy, salty, and rattled at everything, and they're just fucking as incompetent as the memes have made them out to be. It's almost sad, but Amber Heard is evil, so I don't really shed too much of a tear. Depp 58 is suing Heard for $50 million. Yes, she's returning the favor for $100 million. Heard's lawyers argued that Depp abused the actress physically and sexually. So far, there has been zero evidence of that presented so far. As to the contrary, though, lots of testimony that Amber Heard was the one being physically and emotionally abusive. of the actress, who's expected to take the stand in Fairfax, Virginia as soon as Tuesday. Yeah, no, everything wrapped up today. I don't know entirely for sure if Depp sided this, rested their case, but they're also going to have an extensive rebuttal because basically all of their witnesses so far are subject to rebuttal, so they're still adhering to the rules of the court, and that's another one of those things that's been tossed around as well, that there is going to be an extensive rebuttal period. So for those of you who are a little bit unaware of how courtroom procedure goes, it's the plaintiff's case in chief, then the defense's case, and they're allowed to call their witnesses and all that stuff, okay? And then after that's all said and done, if the plaintiff side wants, they have a rebuttal period. And then after that, then you get closing statements and it goes to the jury, okay? But if Amber's out there tomorrow, ooh, buddy, I can't wait to watch that. That's just, it's going to be a spectacle. And I'm going to be probably covering this a little bit more stringently going forward. I just can't wait for the meltdown. That's going to be too fucking good to miss. Now his consulting firm, so she's hired Shane Communications on retainer to help the actress get her side better in the court of public opinion. Ergo, pay off the right people on social media to squash the hashtag #MePoo. Maybe. Don't know for sure. A sudden PR switch came after several brutal days of court testimony from Depp's witnesses and a fiery social media mob that turned against Heard. Not really. Like we showed here, Drew Barrymore is just one of the many people who just didn't even take a side in this entire thing. It was just like, this is fucked. And then you get the social media troglodytes come out and it's like, okay, sorry, I made any statements. I'll just go away right now. Her new PR team, led by CEO David Shane, has worked against Depp before. Okay. The firm helped highlight allegations lodged by Depp's former business manager, the management group, alleging that the Pirates of the Caribbean star needed to hire a shrink for his compulsive spending habit of $2 million per month. Well, considering he's worth over like 300 and some, and he was making, like, in testimonies today from his, at the time, his agent with CAA from, I think Wiggum was there from, we'll get to the specifics here in a moment, but he was there for the time that that Depp and Heard were together, and he was making at least, like, one indie film was $1 million, but his average was about 3, so and again, this is a PR firm and they're just going to spin it as unfavorably as possible. Anyways, so still communication experts told the Post that Herb's new flacks have an uphill battle ahead of them. Yeah, because they have, what was today, day 12? They have 12 days of a bad courtroom performance to overcome. After years of narrative building, you can't change the public's opinion 3 weeks when somebody is suing you in a case, a crisis management PR insider said. Ex-Pete Buttigieg campaign maven Liz Smith said, "It's crazy to change teams in the middle of a trial like this because you don't have the headline. Oh, because you don't like the headlines." Yeah, basically. She said Heard's former PR firm, Precision Strategies, which was co-founded by ex-Obama advisor and deputy campaign manager Stephanie Cutter, is one of the best crisis firms. Oh, okay. But they can't rewrite the history of what happens. Yep, no, if this trial was being contested in, like, the aftermath in, like, early 2019 after the op-ed was published, things might be a little bit different. But unfortunately for Heard, yeah, public perception started to switch when more evidence got put out into the public light, and yeah, these past 11 days, and then including today, which we'll now go into, it really doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for her, so I don't know what these spin doctors are going to have to do, but boy, like they were saying, they have a fucking steep hill ahead of them. Amber Heard's op-ed was catastrophic to Johnny Depp's career, says actor's agent, who revealed he was set to earn a ginormous $22.5 million for the 6th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but was then dropped from the franchise. But it was never in writing. It was never in writing. It was never in writing. That was literally the only thing that the defense was questioning today. And it's like, yeah, but if you're going to be having a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Captain Jack Sparrow is going to be central to that. Okay, we're going to get into more of the testimony from there are 4 people that we need to focus on here today. And the one who was very important, Richard Marks, who literally was the guy who drafted the fucking agreement for George Lucas to get the licensing rights to the Star Wars franchise. Yes, he was literally the guy who fucking wrote this shit up. He buried any hope the defense had in this trial. It was the masterful work by him. He was worth every cent as an expert witness. But let's get into some of this. Johnny Depp was set to earn an impressive $22.5 million for his role in the sixth installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise before being dropped from the film following allegations of domestic violence. Yep, the op-ed was published, I do believe it was December 18th, 2018. And then December 20th, Disney released a statement that Johnny Depp will not be returning in the upcoming sixth Pirates of the Caribbean film. So, no definitive proof, but 2 days later, boy, does that look a little bit sketchy. Anyways, the actor's agent, Jack Wingham, it was pronounced Wiggum, like, Chief in Simpsons, or Ralph, his unfortunate case, testified in Depp's defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard Monday, telling the court the actress's 2018 op-ed was catastrophic to his career. Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Wiggum noted that Heard's piece, published by the Washington Post in December of 2018, was rather shocking because it was the first time I'd heard an allegation of sexual abuse. Yeah, and this guy wasn't just a new kid on the block. He was also working in the industry for a significant amount of time as well. He was just Johnny Depp's agent for a small amount of time, all things considered. Depp 58 is suing, yes, $50 million, we already know that. The article did not mention Depp by name, but the lawyer said it is clear that Heard 36 was referencing the Hollywood leading man, as well as the expert who was there as well. Testifying via video link, Wiggum described the negative impact and damage the piece had on Depp's reputation as a Hollywood star. With respect to Johnny, it was catastrophic because it was coming from a first-person account. It was not from a journalist and not someone observing. It was from somebody saying, "This happened to me." The 2 years after the op-ed's publication, between December 18th and October 2020, when Wiggum left CAA, by the way, that's the reason why it just stopped there, Depp appeared in 0 studio films, Wiggum told the court. He said that the actor scored a $22.5 million deal with Disney to reprise his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean 6, but in 2019 learned the studio would not be casting him in the new installment. Yeah, exactly. They had verbal discussions back and forth because I don't know all this Hollywood insider nonsense, but as you're in a continuation of an ongoing franchise, there's normally just a verbal agreement that is just going to be, okay, we need to establish the outlines of the agreement going forward, so we're just going to, hey, hash things out before we get it into writing. Okay, that's normally the course of action. Nobody disputed that at all. It was just, you never had anything in writing, did you? Well, he was tossed aside because of the op-ed that came out, so that's why it never got into writing. Okay, it was just mere conversations between the two sides, CAA and Disney. Disney instead decided it was going in a different direction, a disgusting direction, and I can't believe, I thought I heard about this, but it's like, boy, this bitch is a fucking franchise killer. Wiggum said, and was looking to develop a Pirates project for actress Margot Robbie. Oh boy, I'm sure that would go nowhere at the speed of smell. Instead of featuring Depp, the movie has yet to be made. Yeah, mostly because they're just kind of waiting to see how this ends up panning out, because, yeah, honestly, what do you think? A Pirates of the Caribbean movie, okay? If it was going to be an all-female-led pirate squad, first of all, that would just be fucking absurd, okay? We already have an all-females pirates movie, and, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But second of all, there would be a big gaping hole, and I swear I'm not referencing the other Pirates movie, in the middle of the franchise. It's like, where's the guy who's like the living embodiment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, okay? He had an opportunity at the end of the third if you wanted to just kind of create its own, living world after that, but no, you continued on with Captain Jack Sparrow, and that fourth movie fucking sucks a dick. Regardless. Wiggum noted that even when Depp was cast in an independent drama, Minamata, the movie struggled after the article came out. Wiggum said the op-ed came out in December, right as we were going on Christmas break. Yeah, like I said, it was like the 18th or the 28th. It was something like that. Anyways, Minamata was supposed to start shooting in January. It was very, very difficult to keep Minamata together. The financing became shaky. Johnny's fee came down. He was only set to make $1 million for this film as well. That was going to be his fee. The agent added, Wiggum said after the op-ed, it was impossible for him to get a studio film, which is what we would have normally been focused on. Yeah, because if you remember in 2018... There was like Johnny Depp and everybody else. So that's my mistake. He made $3 million for that, and there was another indie film, Waiting for the Barbarians, where he got $1 million, and he took the role because he was a big fan of the source material. But then, yeah, on cross-examination, Elaine Bredehoft, who's apparently the crazy cat lady on the defense side, she just came across as just being about as comforting as 60 grit sandpaper. She was terrible, just very annoying lady. But like I said, this is the first day that I've sat down and I've watched everything. It's just the defenses, the tactics are harsh to say the least. They just always come across as just being badgering and retarded. Anyways, do you have an explanation why there's not even a piece of paper, nothing to suggest that Mr. Depp was going to be in Pirate 6 as Jack Sparrow? Well, Wiggum replied, we would work on many deals, and he wouldn't see a contract. There would be a verbal agreement. It's like, yeah, okay, but that's how shit works. That's how shit works. Latest testimony helps support Depp's claims that the long-running career in Hollywood suffered as a result of Heard's op-ed. Yeah, exactly. He was set to make $22.5 million, okay? Thanks to that op-ed, that decision to cast him was fully and totally revoked, at least for the time being. Richard Marx, yeah, then the guy who's literally responsible for Hollywood, if you listen to all of his tales, he took the stand. He was basically a Hollywood expert. He was qualified as an expert in what, you say? He's the guy who drew up every deal for literally everybody ever. Marx, testifying as an expert in the entertainment industry, said the op-ed damaged Mr. Depp, created a cancel situation, if you will, harmed his reputation and his ability to get work in the Hollywood industry. There he is right there, kind of looking and sounding like Jack Nicholson. So very charismatic guy, and probably played extremely well to the jury. Mark said that the studios wouldn't want to hire an actor who has negativity following them. You wouldn't want to pay to bring your brand down. He said that is very important, and especially if in the last 5 years of the Me Too movement, you wouldn't want that negativity, hiring an actor who had been canceled. Yup. We've seen almost immediately terminations, cancellations for the investors to move away from that negativity. Mark said the op-ed was so impactful because it was in the Washington Post, which he called a flagship journal of American news. I know we all have our own opinions on the Washington Post, okay? But he said of the major trade publications that Hollywood takes seriously, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, Washington Post, The New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all the big papers. And because this op-ed was published in the Washington Post, not like one of the other dozens of headlines that the defense brought up. It's like, if you'd listened to Joe's movie blog, they said that there were things that Johnny Depp did. Couldn't that have also led to the fact that Johnny lost a bunch of roles? It's like, it doesn't quite carry the same weight as the Washington Post. Just saying. Because there was one point in time where the Washington Post was universally respected, but then it was bought by Jeff Bezos. He said, we're not talking about a trade paper. It's geared to Hollywood. It said 2 years ago when I was getting my divorce, Amber Heard is saying I was abused. Hollywood stood up for my abuser, not me, the victim. Hollywood got the subject matter of the op-ed loud and clear. Amber Heard was calling out Hollywood for supporting since 2016 her abuser, and she felt the wrath of Hollywood. She was calling them out to do something, and then even on the eve of her biggest film, a big film for Hollywood, the publicity machine was in high gear, and it was at the height of her fame, and she used it to call Hollywood out and to hear, and they heard that the plea was loud and clear. It also got her publicity for her movie, it wasn't a coincidence that date. In Hollywood, the message was received, and that she was sending. Yep, exactly. And that was the release of Aquaman 1, I guess now 1, because there's going to be a second one, which she's still surprisingly in, okay? Just get this, okay? Like, her narrative's been falling apart for years at this point, which is great and wonderful and everything like that. And the fact that she just tried to take down somebody's career because she was being a vindictive cunt and didn't like the fact that she didn't get hers, okay? She tried to ride coattails, but the crazy BPD, HPD personality couldn't quite sink her nails in deep enough, okay? She couldn't get in the will. She was upset that Johnny wanted a pre or a post-nup agreement. She was mad that she was not going to be able to coast on her looks for much longer. She bet on a horse that she was thinking was pretty stupid, but ended up, not working out for her. So she just decided to light everything on fire. And that's been well known for a while. So why is she still getting major acting roles? And even still, now there's that petition, right? The firing petition to get her out of Aquaman 2. Like anybody gives a fuck about superhero movies at this point. But anyways, yeah, no, it reaches 3 million people. It's like not that many people were ever going to go see this to begin with. But now her role has apparently shrunk to about 10 minutes in Aquaman 2. Don't know how long this film is going to be. It's probably going to be like, what, fucking guts of 3 hours, like all of these nonsensical fucking films are at this point. But the fact that she even still has a fucking role at this point just goes to show you that there's two tiers of justice here, okay? Johnny Depp, mere allegations. He loses everything. Fantastic Beasts, Pirates of the Caribbean, which he is already 5 films fucking deep and has made Disney how many billions of dollars, by the way? He gets taken down. And then the crazy bitchness of Amber Heard is on full fucking display. And oh yeah, no, she's still in the movie, but yeah, her role's just going to be taken down a little bit. It's not like I don't even know what role she plays in this. Like I said, I don't watch these fucking Caped Crusader films anymore. I don't know what the name of her role or her character is in this. She could very easily be recast. Because if she still wants to push this whole Me Too cancel culture shit, okay, if she's still hiring PR teams in order to try to resuscitate her career, you fucking get what you deserve. You want to play with fire? You can either use it to cook your food or it'll burn your house down. Choice is yours, stupid. So yeah, she might be taking the stand tomorrow. I'm going to be watching it, and I'm going to be covering it as well. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.